Hello everyone and welcome to Time for a New Watch. I'm Jeff and today we are looking at the limited edition 2019 Seiko Alpinist Blue one. I don't think it really has an official limited edition name or anything. The reference number from Seiko, super easy to memorize as always, is SPB089. So these were originally available on Hodinkee.com and Seiko's website, only in the US. It is a US limited edition. There was a lot of hype surrounding them on their initial release, and people are rather upset because they sold out in like a matter of hours, actually a matter of hour. And a lot of people didn't get one, and the secondary market prices were much higher than the originals. The secondary market used prices have since gone down a bit, but you know, people still remember that initial wave of hype, people trying to make a buck off of the limited edition, and that spawned it to be called the Scalpinist a couple of times, which I thought was pretty good. So here it is, the limited edition 2019 Scalpinist. Alright, so this was released this year, I assume, because if we look on the back here, it's a limited edition of 1959 pieces. The Hodinkee article has mentioned that the Alpinist, the first Alpinist, was created in 1959. I did some Googling around and I had found some history of the Alpinist that started in 1961. I'm more inclined to go with the number that's on the back of this watch, though, that the first had come out in 1959. The history I found, we have this Laurel in 1961, the Champion came later, then a red letter Alpinist, a GMT Alpinist, and finally the current line of Sarb Alpinists, although it started out with the 4R15 movement in the green dial and everything with the gold indices, and it now has a 6R15 movement, which is what this one has as well. So let's talk about the case here. Oh, and before I really get into it, I should do something. People always ask me what watch I'm wearing when I do these, and today it is a Tudor Black Bay 58, which I will get to later. I've owned it for about 6 months, and I will be doing a video on it pretty soon. I just wanted to get the limited edition out of the way while it's still somewhat relevant, because if you didn't get one of these, you will be able to get one later this summer if you're lucky, I guess, because they'll probably sell out quite quickly again. The green Alpinist was discontinued like last year or late 2017, so I think everyone was surprised to see suddenly a limited edition in a attractive new colorway. That, I think, is one of the main reasons that this had sold out so quickly from Hodinkee's website and Seiko. On to the case. I have also seen conflicting information about the size of this case. This, like Hodinkee said, it's 39 millimeters. It is not 39 millimeters. It is exactly the same case as the Sarb 017, the regular Alpinist, the green one, and it is about 38 millimeters wide. So that makes it like a nice mid-size. The lug-to-lug distance here, which is really important for how it wears, is 46 millimeters. So that is really manageable even if you have like a pretty small wrist. The thickness is 12 millimeters and the lug width is 20 millimeters. So you can share your straps with your higher end watches like the Submariner, the Speedmaster, or even a lot of your mid-range watches or middle-low range watches like my Squale 50 atmospheres, that has 20 millimeter lugs, the Black Bay 20 millimeter lugs, so I can share straps with most of my watches, even with this one. And it does fit this watch. 38 millimeter width with 20 millimeter lugs that's the sweet spot right there for a middle-sized watch. So the movement, once again, 6R15. I don't know if you'll ever be able to see the text there with my camera, but it's a 6R15 movement. It is actually 21,600 beats per hour, which is, you know, slower than a lot of Swiss watches that you're going to get today. Almost all of them, actually. Like, because they're all based on ETA 2824 or slated to SW200s, which are all 28,800 beats per hour. So this one ticks a little slower, but that doesn't really bother me too much anymore. That used to be something that I cared about, but I don't care about it so much anymore. It's a nice movement. They're trying to move it up market. They're marking up 6R15s a lot these days, it seems, but let's move on to other things. The glass is sapphire glass, which is something that a lot of people have wanted for a long time on a lot of Seikos. So this has sapphire glass. The dial, check out the color of the dial there. In the Hodinkee picture, it was definitely different than it usually appears. It looked a lot brighter, honestly. The color is kind of like, does matte sunburst make sense? Because that's kind of what it is. In lower light conditions, it looks very much like a matte dark navy blue dial, but in brighter light like this, you can see that there's kind of a sunburst effect with a lighter blue kind of coming into the picture there. So that is, it's a very interesting, nice looking dial in my opinion. And just as personal preference, I prefer this to the green one, especially because of the indices and the hand color. I vastly prefer the silver indices to the gold, at least in this case. So I really like this better than the original Alpinist. Check out the crowns. There are two of them. One of them is signed, which people also miss from a lot of Seikos, and the other is not. And so this crown, it's a screw-down crown. It's 20 bar water resist, 20 atmospheres, 200 meters, all about the same. Hand winding, hacking, forgot to mention that about the movement. But some of the most famous Seikos do not do either of those things. So I wanted to make sure it's out there that this does both of those. And so obviously quick set date, all that fun stuff. And then we get to this crown. It rotates the compass bezel. Now, how do you use the compass bezel? I don't really care, but basically, so I'm not going to be 100% accurate on this, but basically you point the hour hand toward the sun, and then you move, I think, either north or south, I don't know for sure, like halfway between the hour hand and it must be south now that I think about it, like logically, but you move it halfway between the hour hand and 12, and then you have a basic idea of where all the cardinal directions are, if you didn't already know from being able to see the sun, you know. But yeah, there you go, that's the compass bezel. It's kind of a cool little thing which could be useful in certain circumstances, but I haven't found that I've not used it ever once, and I have definitely used diver bezels a lot to time things. So there is that. Now the hands, these are cathedral hands obviously, and I've never had a watch with cathedral hands before, so I really didn't know how I was going to feel about these, but honestly I really like them. So much so that I'm thinking of getting that Oris Pro, what is it called? Big Crown Pointer Day, the newer one with the cathedral hands. It's actually really similar to this watch, so I'm not really sure. But anyway, the loom on these hands and the little dots around the dial here are absolute pure Seiko loom. So they are straight up super easy to see at night. They're super bright, and that's really all you need to say about that. And of course, the compass bezel is not loom because you can't see the sun at night to set it, I guess. So that makes good sense, right? So how about the strap? I have seen conflicting information about this online as well. Since it was sold as a Hodinkee limited edition, people were all like, oh, well, at least it comes with a Hodinkee strap, justifying the $600 price. Well, it doesn't come with a Hodinkee strap, though, because it's also sold on Seiko's website, and it's just a Seiko strap. See? Wait, does that say Seiko? Yeah, it does say Seiko. My camera really hates this, by the way, so I'm going to try to... So, there you go. Seiko strap. It's a black strap. I think it's matched really nicely to this watch. It really gives like kind of the vintagey feeling that I think they were going for with this release. And it's like a, you know, slightly shiny black that in a lot of circumstances, like compared, like because of the dial, it makes it look like it's a very dark navy blue, but it is black, I'm pretty sure anyway. It's not too hard and not too soft. It's not a great strap, like it's not like a Hodinkee level strap, but it is not a bad strap either. I think, like most people I've seen have changed the strap, but I really like this strap on it. I think it's a great match to the watch. And the case back. 1,959 pieces are going to be made. You've got only the, what is this, laser etching is it called? Printing of the Alpinist logo there. In terms of how many of these have already come out, I'm not super sure. I have seen serial numbers over 1,000, but I don't know if they're coming out in order. So I don't know if we've only seen half of them in the wild now, and later in the summer they're going to release the other half or what. But I do know that they are going to release more of these this summer. So if you have not gotten one and you really want one, then watch out this summer on Hodinkee and Seiko's USA website, because they will have more. And let's be honest, I'm pretty sure they will sell out rather quickly, just like the original batch. So watch out for that. Now let's get a wrist shot of this bad boy. 7 inches around. Let's go with that. So zoom out. There. So it's a pretty good size, like mid-size. You're going to be able to handle it if you have a small wrist, and it's not going to look terrible if you have a big wrist. I know this is getting a lot of reflection of my lighting setup here, but not much I can do about that at this point. So there it is. I guess I can compare it next to the 39mm Tudor Black Bay 58. If that's helpful to anyone. I really that's really specific. But anyway, there they are. So it's really wears very similarly to the Black Bay 58, which is not a bad thing at all. So there you have it. All of the limited edition Alpinist fun that you could handle, I'm sure. So anyway, this has been a time for a new watch on the 2019 Seiko Alpinist limited edition, limited USA edition. And thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And for the person who commented on one of my old videos asking me to please wear socks, just wanted to let you know I'm wearing socks today, but only because I want to. So thanks for watching, and tune in soon. I'll be doing the Black Bay 58 review soon, and I've got another Seiko and just a few other things that I haven't gotten around to doing. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you again soon.